What's up, world? Wake y'all asses up. This is another episode of the King of the Berries podcast. Look, I'm so happy to be back with y'all again. From the last podcast, the last time I recorded the last podcast to the time I'm recording now, it's been a little second. It's a lot of things been going on, but it's always positive things, always good things. We never have bad things that happen to us. We just have learning experiences. So I had a few learning experiences I had to figure out, and that's what kind of set me back with the podcast and everything like that. But man, I'm still here for y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And because of the things that I went through, it kind of brings me to today's topic, or the thing I want to talk about, which is how sometimes we overexert ourselves, or sometimes we just do too much. And what I mean by that is, being back out here in the dating world, I got a little ahead of myself, I would say. And I know I made a podcast a while back. It was about dating and me, my experiences with dating, getting back out in the field. And I talked about how sometimes you gotta make time for yourself. And if you don't make time for yourself, man, I'm telling you, it could get constricting. That's probably the best word I could think about it. It gets constricting. And what I mean by that is, with me, I'm not no player or anything like that, but I do like to talk to different people, get to know different people, and it gets interesting sometimes, because me as a man, I want to know so much about people. And that's not just about women, but like people just around me in general. I'm very much an introvert. But when I'm out around people, I find people very intriguing. The most intriguing person I can think of is myself. But I think people are just so intriguing. I like to know about them. I like to ask questions. I like to learn about people. And, I just always been like that. When I was younger, I was more shy. So I didn't like to talk to people and everything. But as I got older and broke out my shell and became more comfortable with my skin, it was easier for me to communicate with people and try to connect with people on more than just a surface level. And so I guess that's the good thing about me. And then also the tough thing is, because especially dealing with the opposite sex, when you kind of break through that facade, you get a stronger attraction, more of an emotional bond. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just, for me, it just, I forgot about myself. I forgot about, continue to spend time with myself. And like I said, when I do these podcasts and I'm talking to y'all, I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. I actually go back and listen to a lot of my podcasts to kind of remind myself of where I was at a certain situation, and then how does that correlate with my thinking now. And when I went back and listened to the dating thing, I was talking to myself like, yo, make sure you always make time for yourself. And I didn't do that. And then over time, it got to the point where you just look. And actually, I'm gonna do a quick shout out. I normally don't like to do plugs, because I'm not getting paid for them. But I was listening to this not podcast, an audio book on YouTube. It's called The Conversation with the Devil. A very unique title. But the premise of the audiobook was, it's an interviewer and he's interviewing the devil, and the devil is like sworn to tell the absolute truths about whatever question the interviewer asks. And so the interviewer asks these questions like, yo, why do you have dominion over the world? Or why are you trying to corrupt people? And it's real deep. I don't want to get too deep into it. I want y'all to go check it out and make y'all own interpretations from it. But it was a part in there where he talked about time, and how time is the most valuable asset that we have. And I always knew that. But when you going through stuff and you really sit back and think, and you think about where you're spending your time at, where you spending your money at, where you spending your resources at, sometimes you sit back and look and be like, dang, is this time that I'm spending beneficial as possible to me? And I had to take a look back at that. And I realized, like, dang, the things that I'm spending my time on, it's not like they're not important, but it's not building me up in a way to get me to where I want to go as a man. And I had to look at that. And so when I heard that, and then thank goodness for social media. Sometimes social media could be a headache. We spend too much time on there. We worry about likes and comments and stuff like that too much. But it's also a good place to get inspiration. And when I was on Instagram one day, I was scrolling through, and on somebody's timeline, I saw this video, and it was this guy, and he was talking about, like, if he could go back, how he wouldn't have dated. And I'm like, what you mean you wouldn't date? Like, he seemed to be like he seemed like a good looking guy, seemed like he was pretty charming and everything like that. So I'm like, you know what, I'm intrigued by this. So I click on it, and I listen to the video, and he talked about, fellas, we go out here and spend all this money on women, which a lot of these women are definitely worth the money. They're definitely worth the time, the going out to dinner, to getting to know them, wine and dine them. They deserve that. But the thing is, if you're not in a position to afford to really wine and dine them and not worry about looking at the check or, checking your accounts, you might not be, it might not be time for you to be dating right now. You know what I'm saying? And that really resonated with me, because now I'm going to transition y'all into a story. Story time with Paul, King of the Berries. All right, so I was on a date with a young lady. I've been talking to her for a while. Every time we tried to coordinate a date time, either she was busy or I was busy, or I was out of town, she was out of town, whatever. So we never really could get up. So we finally set up a time where we both can meet up. We go to this nice restaurant, really nice restaurant on the waterfront. She told me about it. She's like, yeah, this is a really nice restaurant. I think we should go there. Blah, blah, blah. It'll be really nice. It'll be a good time. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go pick her up. We go ride down there. She looked stunning, gorgeous, beautiful. All those adjectives you could think of that mean look good. She was all of that. So we go to the restaurant, and we sitting down eating and chilling. The first thing I do, I checking the prices on the menu. I'm not gonna front on y'all. Look, hey, I'm doing really well for myself, but I'm not balling on that level, y'all. Like, and I'm kind of frugal. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm a little frugal. I'm not a penny pincher, but I'm pretty frugal. But I also at that time, and still working on it, I have a big ego. So if I'm taking a woman out, I don't want the price to be an issue. So a lot of times, because of that, I like to take charge on where we go, because I know the prices, I know what I want from off of there, and kind of dictate everything. So that's why I like to take charge and picking where we go a lot of the times. But this time it was a new spot. I'm at the point where, well, at that time I was at a point where I was trying out different restaurants. I actually had a spreadsheet, like literally a spreadsheet for different restaurants I went to, and I would grade them. So I would talk about customer service, quality of food, wait time, ambiance, so the atmosphere, and then I give them like a total rating score. I actually got it. I slowed down on it because I don't go out as much now because of the thing I talked about before, being more strict with my money. But I was doing all of that. So I was like, you know what, this would be a new place to add on to my restaurant list. Of course, I won't pulling out my spreadsheet then, but I was trying to keep mental notes about the vibe and the feeling I got from the restaurant. So we pull up to the restaurant, walk her in. It was a slight wait. It was probably like a 5 minute wait for a table. But we got a table, and this was in the middle of the summer. This was probably like June-ish, I would say. May or June, somewhere around there. And we got a table. It's an outside balcony. We got a table on the outside balcony overlooking the river. Beautiful view, like beautiful vibes, everything. So we sitting down. I look at the menu. So I look at the menu, and the prices weren't bad. The prices weren't bad at all. But in my head, I had a budget. In my head, I had a budget on what I wanted to stick to. So I'm like, all right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let her order, and I got like 3 different options based on the price range. So I got what I really want based on what she ordered. If she orders something that can stay within my price range, if she gets something a little bit more expensive, I'm gonna get like a salad and just be chilling. Cause I'm a pescatarian. At that time I actually was a vegetarian, if I'm not mistaken. I think at that time, yes, I was a vegetarian. But I went pescatarian now, and yeah, so she ordered, she got what she wanted, and it was within my budget, so I ended up getting the thing that I wanted. So we have a beautiful conversation. It was a very, like I said, I try not to stay on the surface, especially if we in a one-on-one setting, and this is my first time going out. I want to definitely kind of pick your brain and learn more about the woman that I'm with. So we had a very, very deep conversation. Talking about childhoods and all that stuff. Sometimes a little bit deeper than usual. She asked me questions about about what happened with my relationship and stuff like that. And I'm an open book. Y'all know my story, so I don't got nothing to hide. So I told her the situation with that, and it was a really good time. It was a really good time. So the check come, right? And so I look, and the check was a little bit more than what I expected. So I'm like, oh, okay. That ain't no problem. I got the money. So I'm trying to get on my phone and like transfer the money. The issue is the place we was at and goddamn Sprint. I'm not gonna bash nobody, but my service was not good in this area. And I'm over here trying my best to like log on to transfer the money, and the connection is not going through. So I'm like, oh damn, yo. And it was only like $15 or $20 I had to transfer over. And I'm like, man, damn, this is not working. So I'm sitting here, yeah, she's still talking to me, and I'm over here trying to figure out like, yo, how am I gonna get this thing to go through? But I'm like, I think with my card, it'll allow it to go over, and then I could just transfer the rest later. And if I don't, I just get charged the overdraft fee, which I'm not trying to get charged. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just slide my card in there. I think it'll be all right. So we sitting talking. The waitress comes over, get the card and everything, and she goes. I guess you go and process it. Probably like 10 minutes later, I'm talking to her, and the waitress was coming. So my date was facing me, and the waitress was walking up behind from where my date's back was turned to her. And so she looked, and shout out to this waitress. I wish more. I don't think. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I had my card declined, but I was with my girlfriend. I had a girlfriend by that time, so I wasn't as embarrassed or whatever then. But I always paid my debts though. Like I ain't never had to go in the back and wash dishes or nothing. But it was just something happened with a card, so I just used another card or whatever. But this lady, shout out to the waitress. I was sitting talking to her, and she walked up like a safe distance behind my date while her back was turned, and she was like waving me over. She like, hey, waving at me and like waving me over. And so my date couldn't see what was going on, but I could. So I was like, oh, you know what? Excuse me real quick. I just gotta run to the bathroom real fast. So I get up and run to the bathroom, and I like, hey, what's going on? She like, sir, I read your card 3 times, and every time it declined. Like, do you know what's going on with the card? And I like, first off, thank you for not coming over there and making the scene. She like, oh, that's no problem. And I'm like, I've been trying to transfer this money over, but I don't have service in here. But I was like, you know what? I had a credit card. I didn't really want to use my credit card, but I still didn't have service. I still couldn't transfer the money. I like, here, just run the credit card. This will go through. So she ran the credit card and went through. I signed for everything. We was all good. But that's just a little funny story. But it just goes back into my point of like, men and women. If you don't have the money, don't have the time, don't overexert yourself. Don't go past your means. You don't gotta prove nothing to nobody out here. Nothing to nobody. And I know, and I'm speaking this primarily for my men, because my men out here, they dating and they going out here and spending a lot of money on women and frivolous things to attract women that, what good is that doing you in the end? How's that helping you get to your goals and your dreams that you set for yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that helping you get to what you really want out of life? How's that getting you there? I went back and I looked at all the money I spent on dates or like food or whatever. Cause I'm a guy. I'm not gonna front with y'all. Like, I'm a guy, like, whoever I'm dealing with, I like to spoil them. I try my best to. If I got the money to, I definitely don't mind spoiling my woman, yo. You know what I'm saying? If I got the money. Now, when things get tight, hey, that spoil get cut off. It get cut off, cause like, yo. But the thing is, I gotta retrain my thinking, because I gotta learn to spoil myself first. And for me, spoiling myself is getting my clothing line off, working on my business ideas, getting this podcast jumping, my men's support group, getting that rocking, investing in those things that help me. That's spoiling myself. And I had to really sit with myself and think and be like, and this is not a knock on any of the women that I dated, because every woman that I've dated this year, every woman I came across has been amazing, and they added great value to my life. You know what I'm saying? I done met some incredible women. I done dated, had the pleasure of meeting some incredible women that have helped me on my journey on life. But really, I had to realize, like, now I really got to focus on myself and learn how to spoil myself, and that's just the mind frame that I'm at. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this podcast, is because I feel like a lot of us get so caught up in the facade of, trying to impress other people, trying to be like, oh, I need to date, not need to, but like, I want to date somebody, or I want somebody to go out with me, or I want somebody to take me out. I want to have a bunch of different options. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was there when I went through it was phases after after I separated from my ex-wife. It was phases. I went through my depression stage, where it's like I couldn't even think about nobody else. I just was so caught up in like what happened with me and her. I went through that stage. Then I went through like a little bit of an angry stage where I was like, man, forget her and stuff like that. Then I went through the acceptance stage where I accepted it. And then I went through my moving on stage. Y'all, when I got to my moving on stage, I'm like, look, I'm about to talk to any and every girl that I find attractive. I'm about to try to talk to them and get to know them. And it wasn't on no sex stuff, because after I separated from my ex-wife, it was a long time before I engaged in any sexual activities. It was a long period of time, and that's because, like, I didn't want to get no feelings or anything caught up. So I wanted to make sure, like, I was totally ready. And that's what I did. So, as I continue to move forward, I went through the phase of, like, mingling, talking, making connections with women, and at the same time still trying to find myself. And it's a tough balance. It's a really tough balance. And it's a tough balance because it's hard to really devote all the time and attention to yourself when you're trying to learn other people. It's really tough to do that. You could definitely do it, but it's tough because all that time you spending on other people, you could be spending on yourself. I got a daughter. All that time I spend on other people, I could be spending with my daughter. All the money I spent on other people, I could have been spending on my daughter. And a lot of people be like, and I heard this as, feedback. Because I've been telling people this, like, that's just the phase I'm in right now. And, they like, oh, well, you got to take care of yourself. There's nothing wrong with mingling and talking and dating and stuff. And it is nothing wrong with that. But for me, where I'm trying to get to, I'm about to be 30 soon, y'all. 30. And that's still very young. That's still very young. But I know a lot of people that didn't make it to 30. We sit here and we think we got all damn day. We think every day is guaranteed. We think tomorrow is promised. And it's really not. It's really not. So the question is, if you know you got a limited time here on earth and you really understand that, would you be spending your time on the things that you're spending your time on? If you knew you had 10 years left before you died, what would you do in that 10 years? If you knew you had a year left, what would you do in that year? If you knew you only had one day, tomorrow you gone, how would you live your life, man? We really sit here and we think we got forever. We really sit here and think that. We sit here and think that every day is promised, and it's not. It's not. People ask me all the time, Paul, why you like always in a good mood? You always so positive. You always smiling. You upbeat. I'm smiling upbeat because I'm here another day. I know people that done got murdered. I done been shot at. I done been arrested. I've been in fights. Like, I've been through a lot of stuff in my short 30 years. And I know people that have been through more than that. Been through a divorce. Been married. I done been through a lot of stuff in my short 30 years. Experienced a lot of stuff. And all the trouble times, all the hard times, that only make me grateful for the things I have. And I've accomplished a lot in my life. I've accomplished a whole hell of a lot. But I know I got a lot more to do. I know I got a greater purpose for my life. And when you understand that, when you understand you got a greater purpose, when you understand you're on a mission, sometimes you just got to eliminate distractions. Sometimes you got to let distractions go. It's hard. It's hard to eliminate some distractions. It's people I built real genuine connections with that I had to just be like, you know what? Like right now, I gotta let y'all go right now. If you're not fitting into the framework of the direction I'm heading in, if you can't be part of my mastermind group of any of my businesses, and you're not uplifting my spirit in somehow, it's not the time right now. I'm on a mission. I got a daughter that I gotta take care of. I got a daughter I gotta be an example for. A male example for my daughter. So I had to eliminate the distractions, man. I had to be more responsible with my time, my energy, and my money. And I've seen a big since I've been doing this. I've seen a big difference. I feel a big difference. Like, I feel it. And it was nothing wrong with me before. It was nothing wrong with me before. It just, life happened in stages. And people that's in that dating stage and you going out and having fun, live it up, have your fun. But when you get to that stage when it's time to like focus, you gotta be willing to Eliminate distractions. They're not problems. They're not issues. There's nothing wrong with the people. It's just you got to get focused in on your goals and your dreams. The things you want to accomplish. You got to zero in. That's what I got to do. Part of the reason I made these podcasts is to uplift myself. If you look right now at a lot of these podcasts I got, it's not a bunch of plays. It's not a lot of views on here. Half of y'all don't even listen to my stuff. And that's alright. That's alright. I'm not mad or nothing. Some of y'all probably hate the podcast. That's fine. I'm not mad or anything. But I make this first off for myself. I go back, I listen to all my podcasts. I think I seen the growth from my first one to the one to today. So I see growth. And that's part of it, is just to see my growth from my first podcast all the way up to now. And then also, my podcast is going to touch who it's supposed to touch. I got people that come in and tell me, man, Paul, you know what? Yo, your podcast, like, it really helped me through some tough times. Or your podcast was real funny, man. Help uplift my spirit or whatever. That's what it's all about. We as people, we have to learn to be selfish sometimes, but then we also got to learn to give to others. To replenish your spirit, to replenish your soul, to help with your spirituality. I had touched on that in one of my men's support groups, Rebuilding Men. Go follow that page on Instagram, by the way, at Rebuilding Men. But I touched on that, and I touched about spirituality. And one of the best ways to get in touch with your spiritual self or your higher self is to help others. We sit here and we complain about our lives every day. We sit here and bitch and complain about, oh, you know, I didn't get that raise at work. Or, oh, you know, the rent is so high. I got all these bills and stuff like that. Don't you know it's people out here homeless? People don't have a roof over their head. And we going into the winter time, and there's people out here that don't really have a winter coat, sleeping in their cars. Some people would kill to have the problems that we got. And we let that bring us down so much. We let that bring us down. Sometimes I gotta hit myself in the head sometimes when I sit here and I complain about stuff. Dang, man, I want a better car. Nigga, shut your ass up. People out here don't even got a car. They gotta take the bus. They sitting at the bus stop waiting. People out here riding a bike. They got a moped. It's freezing cold out there. They gotta put 3-4 layers on. Drive in a moped to get to work. We sit here and complain, man, because we so selfish and self-centered. And we gotta cleanse that stuff out, man. We gotta learn gratitude and thankfulness. And a lot of that stuff happens. You become a lot more gracious for the things you got when you feel like you got a purpose in life. And I guess I said all of that other stuff, you know, about the, you know, like finding time for yourself and being more responsible with your money and having that vision. All of that come back to, what's your purpose in life? What's your purpose in life? A lot of people, we out here like zombies. We just going day by day with no end in sight, yo. We living to die. Living to die. Do y'all understand that? I'm trying to talk to the people out here that haven't figured out or even thought about what their purpose in life is. Everybody got a unique purpose. Everybody got a unique skill set. Everybody has something valuable to offer to the world. You ain't got to go out here and speak to the masses and millions of people, but you got something that's valuable to somebody else. You got a light within you that you got to let shine. And the question is, do you want to let that light shine or not? And I'm to the point, I already knew I wanted to let my light shine. I already knew I wanted to go out here. I wanted to help people. I knew I always wanted my voice to be heard. But a lot of people want that stuff, but who's willing to put in the work to do it? That's what separate the dreamers from the accomplishers. Like, I've been dreaming for years. It's time for me to switch from dreaming to the accomplisher, to the achiever. And that's the point I'm at in life. And that's why, like I said, I met some incredible people. I met some incredible women. I still converse with them. I still talk to them and everything. But like, far as like going out and dating and stuff like that, I know I'm not ready to settle down right now. And actually, let me rephrase that. I would be willing to settle down, but I can only settle down with somebody whose goals and vision aligns with mine. I am at a point where I can settle down, but if your goals and your vision can't align with mine, or if we can't come to, if I don't feel like we got an understanding that we could help motivate and encourage each other to grow spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally to our goals and the things that we want to accomplish together, and also the things we want to accomplish separately, and respect those things, I can't invest time in that right now. I can't invest time. I got too much stuff going on. I got too much good momentum building up. Too much good momentum. So I say that I've been kind of ranting for a little while, but that's what my podcast's about. It's about me ranting. That's why I made my podcast. I talk about the things I want to talk about. You know, whether it be funny or serious, sad, whatever. That's what my podcast is all about. Because that's part of my purpose. Is to spread my voice to the people that want to hear it, that want to listen. And hopefully they receptive. They can take the good stuff in, reject all the negative stuff you don't like. Do you get the messages that I'm trying to talk about? Do you get it? Can you internalize it? And can you use that to help better yourself? That's what I'm all about right now. And so I said all of that just to tell y'all, look, I hope y'all find y'all purpose. I'm online. I'm getting in line with my purpose right now. Shout out to all the women I talked to, you know, past, present, future. I love and appreciate all of y'all. All of y'all helped me get to this place I'm at now. It's a lot of women out there that got a lot of good stuff to say about me. There's some women out there that don't got some good stuff to say about me. But I appreciate all of y'all, you know. The ones that don't got good stuff to say, you know, I probably deserve it. I probably deserve it. And I hope y'all forgive me and understand I'm on my road to growth. So that's it. Damn, that's it. I really don't got no more to say. Yeah, that's all I got. But I hope y'all got the message. I hope y'all get a better understanding of the phase of life I'm in right now. I'm working on being more consistent with this podcast thing, y'all. Y'all got to continue to work with me. I'm working on trying to be more consistent, bringing out more content to y'all on a regular basis. Keep everything flowing, keep everything moving. Working on getting some guests on the podcast. Have some very interesting conversations, some different topics, and we got some things in the works. Got a clothing line, shirt line that I'm working on. Look out for that. A lot of y'all know I do the beats, so follow my personal page at Fresh Air, FRESHHEIR1. That's at Fresh Air 1. All right, air spelled differently, HEIR1 at the end. Okay, so that's where I got like my beats. I kind of mix everything up. That's my personal page. So I'll talk about, I post stuff about the podcast. I post stuff about my men's support group. And then I also got my beats up there. So make sure you go follow my personal page as well. But hey, that's the end. I'm done rambling. I appreciate all of y'all. I love y'all so much, man. Thank y'all for giving me an opportunity to speak and tell y'all about me. Open up with y'all. Share with y'all who I am, what I'm about, what I stand for, and the plans for my future. Hopefully y'all can come along with me on this journey. We can all grow and win and succeed and boss up together. So I appreciate all of y'all out there. I hope y'all have a good night. Thank you for listening to the King of DeBarry's podcast. I'm out. Peace.